Being awkward and embarrassed sucks. I've been there, you've been there, maybe you still are there sometimes, because I know I am. This is sort of a follow-up to last video where I just have a few more stories and I just go into a little bit more detail about how to address this problem that a lot of us have. When you take a moment and think that, in fact, having that as a problem is actually a privilege, your whole perspective changes. Now, what I mean by that is some countries have literally had war, famine, hunger. They didn't even have the time or the energy to worry about things like that. It was stupid. It wasn't even an afterthought for them. However, with this logic, you could also argue that my argument is flawed, because what I'm doing is I'm comparing two undesirable circumstances and telling you that if you're in the more desirable one, then you shouldn't complain. If you look at it from that perspective, then yes, my argument could be flawed. No one's suffering should be ignored or deemed invalid. I just think that sometimes looking at where the grass isn't greener could help us with gratitude. For example, if it's a rainy day and all my books got soaked, I can be thankful that at least my house wasn't flooded. I may have made eye contact with some random person for a bit too long and started to feel really awkward. But I could think on the bright side, at least I'm not in a war-filled country, and so on. I understand both situations sound very extreme and I may be taking it too far, but what I want you to understand is that comparison can really help us change our perspective. When you come to terms with the fact that you must be really privileged to feel things such as embarrassment and awkwardness, it's a lot easier to get rid of. But if that's not enough, you probably have some deeper mental and emotional issues that you need to address, which takes time, and that's okay. Everyone gets better and develops and progresses at their own pace, so there's no use comparing here. So I have a few stories about me being awkward, which might make this video a bit more relatable for you. I'm a really heavy sweater, and you'll catch me profusely dripping on a hot day, even if I'm not moving. There have been many times where my sweating has made me feel very insecure and embarrassed. When I was in year 7 to 8, my high school uniform was blue, which meant it was very visible to others when I would sweat. But I also enjoyed playing basketball at break times, meaning that my sweat glands became whole ass waterfalls and my shirt would soon be flooded with sweat. I tried to cover this up by wearing my school sweater all the time. How ironic, right? But yeah, it really helped me emotionally, but it was a major sacrifice physically. Do you know how uncomfortable it is to have a whole ass tsunami in your sweater, but not be able to take it off because you're so insecure? Well, I do, and it sucked. However, don't laugh. A girl I talked to in year 9 really helped me find security in myself and become more comfortable in my sweatiness. I'm extremely grateful that I had someone back then to open up to, and they still appreciated me for who I am. Cute story, I know, but I want you guys to know that you don't always need a certain special someone, a girl or a guy, to help you get over an insecurity. Sometimes you just need to be alone so that you can understand yourself more. When you realize there's nothing you can do to change certain things about yourself, it becomes a whole lot easier to accept yourself. Because why would you want to hate yourself? Hating others already doesn't make you feel good. So you can imagine that hating yourself, talking down on yourself, would only do a whole lot worse for you. Things like this can really go a long way. You can probably guess that my sweating only multiplies tenfold when I'm playing volleyball. So after a little while, I'm talking 5-10 minutes, I'm already dripping my butt off. When I'm going for a dive or a pancake, no, not the food, pay attention. When I'm going for a dive or a pancake, or even when I need to get into the team huddle, I start to get a bit uncomfy, especially after I hit the floor and I make a 3 to 5 meter wet spot. That stuff sucks and even hindered me from going for some hustle plays, which is absolutely disgraceful, and my coach should be disgusted by that, but he should still play me. And as this was a similar situation, the people I looked up to in the volleyball space and my life in general just told me, who cares? Just go for it, man. Simple as that. I do go for it more now. And now that I'm sharing this, there's no way I can chicken out in case some of my teammates are watching this. So 2 more awkward situations in my life were with speaking, a language other than English to be exact. It was 2017 and I was with my family on holiday at Hong Kong, and the people there predominantly speak Chinese, which I'm quite familiar with. Or at least I thought I was. Well, anyways, year 6 me was doing my thing, just vibing in the city area, and I was at a Macca's and I went to order a bottle of water, and I got it wrong multiple times. And each time I got it wrong, I was generously gifted a "huh?" by the cashier. Every single time. Huge facepalm moment. I couldn't order a bottle of water. And when I told my family, I got laughed at by them too. It was absolutely hilarious to look back on. And it's a good thing that now I don't feel embarrassed at all when I say something wrong in a different language. For example, the most recent trip I had with my family to Cambodia. I tried to flex my Cambodian prowess a few times, which completely failed to say the least, but no embarrassment this time. Why? Well, I learned to laugh at myself more when I mess up in life. Now, you shouldn't always joke around about failure, especially when you can seize opportunities to learn and improve. But if your reaction is like mine a few years ago and you start to get upset, butthurt, or feel overly negative, please don't do that. The main reason I confidently believe I have found myself feeling less awkward and embarrassed is hard work and achievement, particularly in the realm of volleyball and working out, along with a few random social interactions here and there. It really comes as no surprise that my self-confidence and self-esteem skyrocketed in the year of 2022. I trained my butt off for volleyball, and I was getting after it, whether it was on the road running or on the pull-up bar. I think I heard Jordan Peterson say this the other day, but when you know you're competent, you can be confident. It's a really cool relationship, and I'll say it again. You cannot be confident without being competent. Confidence is the key to leaving the room of awkwardness, so you should try to pursue it as well as you can. But a warning is don't get caught too far in the cookie jar. Otherwise, you end up at cockiness and you're just another D-bag who no one wants to be around. From experience, I recommend learning humility to complement your confidence. You need to learn how to surrender when it's not worth the fight, and also how to keep your head down when you should. It is one of my core beliefs that having confidence and humility are two traits that can help you conquer just about any obstacle that life throws at you. All in all, it's just a wake-up call. That's all you need sometimes. Consider this video a reminder that we do be kind of silly sometimes, and also a reminder that we just got to do what we want to do. Don't ever hold back from being your truest self, otherwise you'll just end up regretting it. I want to make another video on regret because I feel like it's one of the underlying issues that people in my generation, myself inclusive, have coming if we don't do anything about it. So let me know in the comments if you're interested. In summary, yes, feeling awkward and being embarrassed is a real problem. But it could be way worse, and we should try to spend some time to understand ourselves and our emotions more, as well as try to accept advice or a slap in the face when we need to. Don't be afraid to experience new things, even if in the end they do bring you negative outcomes. A good friend of mine told me before that, and I quote, "A bad experience sets you apart because most people don't strive for bad experiences, let alone experiences, so they won't get as many. So you have the upper hand in that. And I always think that we learn and grow from pain and suffering, so we should let ourselves do that." Thank you for watching or listening. I hope you were able to gain some value from this video. Have a good day or night, and stay hydrated.